The best comet of 2025 is in the sky right now, and it could be visible at a sky near you. Comet C2024 G3 Atlas is approaching perihelion on January 13th, and if it survives, it could be visible for the whole planet, but mostly for the southern hemisphere observers. Here's a quick look at how to add this comet in Stellarium. To add a new comet in Stellarium, on the left-hand side, click Configuration window or click F2. In this window, click on Plugins, and near the very bottom, you'll see an option called Solar System Editor. Make sure Load as Startup is selected. Click on Configure, and then click on Solar System, and then click on Import Orbital Elements in MPC format. Make sure in the type you select Comets, and from the source dropdown, select the Gideon Van Buitenen Comets. You'll get this URL automatically filled in. If it doesn't fill in, look in the description below and copy and paste this in, and click on Add this URL to Bookmarks. And then click on Get Orbital Elements. Once this window loads, search for the comet. So C2024 G3, check the box, and then click on Add Objects. Now you can close out of this, and in this Minor Solar Systems object window, if you scroll down, you should be able to find C2024 G3 Atlas. So it will be right here. This is just to confirm. So you can close this, and now click on the search window, and you should be able to search for C2024 G3, and it is under the horizon, so I can get rid of the ground and the atmosphere, and we can see it next to the sun. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, it'll be visible near the horizon after sunset. It's going to stay relatively bright for a few days, so it could be easy to spot. Peter Horlek from Slovakia was able to take this picture before perihelion, and he reported that he saw it naked eye, which is huge. So for us, after perihelion, it could be visible after sunset. So if you have views of the western horizon, give it a try. Nick James from the British Astronomical Association proved that we can see this comet during the day by taking a picture of the comet during the day on January 11th, before it reached peak brightness, and we're expecting it to get a little bit brighter over the next few days. This idea first came to me after a meeting with my local astronomy club where we talked about observing Venus and other bright stars during the day. They're really hard to see, but they're still in the sky, and some objects are bright enough that you can spot them during the day, especially if you have some kind of optical help like binoculars or even a small telescope. You just have to know where to look. Looking at Stellarium, Venus is more than 45 degrees away from the sun, really far enough that you could put the sun behind some kind of shade like your neighbor's house and look for Venus. And as bright as Venus is, some kind of optics is still a must unless you have superhuman vision. And this experiment can be done with Venus for a couple more months because Venus will be far enough from the sun and it'll be bright enough that we can still observe some of it during the daytime. Now, after my conversation with my astronomy club, I attempted this myself with a small refractor, and as hard as I tried, I couldn't spot it. But I think with enough practice, I can spot it and probably take a picture of it. And using the same concept, we may be able to see the comet during the daytime as well, except it'll be much closer to the sun, making it even more important that you put the sun behind some kind of shade, such as your neighbor's house, maybe a really thick tree where the sun rays don't really go through, which may be hard to do in the wintertime. So use apps like Stellarium to figure out where the comet position is in relation to the sun. Be extremely careful when you're trying to look at this comet through optics near the sun, but as we have visual proof from someone else that it is possible to look at this during the daytime because it is going to be that bright. And I'm hoping I can get to try this a couple of times this week. And if you have a go-to telescope setup, if you can polar align and do a 3-star alignment a previous night, you can possibly use go-to in order to find the comet more easily. And finally, this video is going up right before the moon occults Mars on January 13th. So if you have clear skies, look up and see where moon and Mars is, and depending on where you are, you could see Mars disappear behind the moon and then reappear an hour or so later. Your experience will vary based on where you live, so use your local planetarium app like Stellarium to figure out where these two objects will be in the sky in relation to where you are and what time you can expect the occultation to occur. Until next time, clear skies.